are y'all doing today? My name is Kristen. Glad y'all made it here. I have snacks and drinks right here and tissues, of course. Let me know if you need anything else. If not, we can go ahead and get started. But before we do, I want to remind everyone our group rules. What happens here stays here. Everything that we discuss today should just be discussed within our group. Also, if anyone has any questions or comments or concerns about that, please reach out to me, or we can discuss that at the end of any group session. Today's topic is about stress and how we handle that. I would like to start with April, if you're comfortable with that. If you could describe to me about the word stress to you, what does that mean to you?
To me, stress is a lot of pressure. It feels like just a lot of pressure. Sometimes just several small things just kind of compounds and makes it feel like it's bigger sometimes than it is.
That's a good point. How are you, if you are, how are you able to reduce the stress that you've been feeling here lately?
Sometimes I just have to take a step back. I retreat sometimes when I feel like I'm getting too overwhelmed. I go to a quiet place and just kind of meditate and try to relax and calm myself down, so I can think, clearer.
What about you, Sue? How do you handle stress?
Well, when everything gets to everything going wrong or something at the time, I like to be off to myself. I like to talk to God about it. And then I try to remember it's in His hands, not mine. And I try to calm myself down, because I know there's things that I can't do about a lot of things.
I'm glad that you have a sense of comfort with your religion and you're able to fall on that. Are there times where y'all feel like there are any bad or unhealthy ways y'all handle stress? This could go for either one of you.
I like to snack.
What do you like to snack on?
I love a good fountain Coke.
Yes.
I love pretzels and chocolate.
What about you, Sue? Do you have any guilty pleasures when you're stressed out?
Coke as well, Coca-Cola, and I eat too much when I get stressed out.
Well, what kind of jobs have you both had, if you've had any, whether it's at home or around the community, that tend to cause a lot of stress for you? I'll start with you, Sue.
Well, I've been a homemaker all my life, and so that was a lot of stress, raising kids and trying to keep the home going and everything else, but I managed to get through it.
What about you, April?
I'll work in the medical field, corporate field, and with insurance, and there's a lot of deadlines, especially with government policies and things. So sometimes that could get very overwhelming trying to meet deadlines.
For both of y'all, that sounds really stressful, whether you're at home or working for a company. You have the pressure of someone needing something from you, and that sounds very stressful. Have you noticed, April, any triggers that have caused stress? And have you noticed that in your body? Whether it was work or home?
Yeah, sometimes, different parts of the year we have different things going on within the company and things that have to be done. And so you're trying to do those big projects plus your typical daily work. And then if something stops working within the system, so then you've got that added stress of trying to figure out, you have to stop what you're doing and having to figure out, what broke, what's going on, you know, how to get back on track before you can kind of go back to the projects you're working on. And sometimes it can cause pressure points, pain points, headaches, body stresses, sometimes with that.
Sue, where is your favorite place to be when you are feeling stressed? Is there any place you like to go?
Well, I usually just like to go sit in my recliner and have the TV off and just sit there and think.
Do you find that's
I like-
helpful?
I like to be alone. Yes, very helpful.
Which area of your life causes you the most stress, April?
I think, I don't know if it's one area, I think it's probably multiple areas. Sometimes I think I try to do too much, and I get frustrated with myself when I can't get everything done that I want to get done. So it's kind of compounds the issue sometimes.
That sounds really hard. When I'm stressed out, at times I like to listen to music on my commute to and from work. I have found that very helpful. Are there any types of music that you all like to listen to that would help with stress?
I like gospel music.
I do too. How about you, April?
I kind of like the quiet. I kind of like to kind of sit, you know, with my thoughts and try to. I replay a lot of stuff sometimes. You know, how am I going to handle something, or how I should have handled something maybe a different way, that type of thing. So I kind of like the quiet.
I wonder how it would look if you ever started getting into your thoughts too much, if you tried turning on a song in order to redirect your brain for a moment and maybe come back to it later.
Probably would be a good idea a lot of times, because sometimes I tend to replay things that are in the past that I have no control over and can't change, so that probably would be helpful at times for me.
Maybe when you are in your thoughts about things in the past, maybe you can try to find a song or something to turn on for that moment and listen to it first and then come back to it. And maybe we can discuss how that went in our next meeting. Are there any ways that we could help each other when we're feeling very stressful? Do you have any ideas of what you could do for your family member or your friend if you know that they're feeling stressed?
I like to, sometimes I'll try to, if I see somebody a little bit more than, it's hard to handle sometimes, I like to help out with different things. Even if it's something small, taking something off somebody's plate sometimes can, help them. And it kind of makes you feel like you kind of lessen their load and help them not to be as stressed.
Have you noticed yourself taking on too much of someone else's load and therefore you've become more stressed yourself?
Yeah, I've done that at times.
Are you able to come back from that or lighten your own load any? Do you feel like you can handle that, or does that get overwhelming at times?
A lot of times it's overwhelming, but when I get to a certain point, I try to retreat and kind of back off and regroup in my mind of, what is helpful, what is, what's not helpful, and try to move forward from that.
I think that's helpful if you're able to identify when you're doing too much yes, we do need to back off sometimes when we are causing too much stress on ourselves from helping others. But it's great that you can and you're wanting to help others. I'm glad you're able to identify each time if you are doing too much before you get triggered or stressed out. What about you, Sue? Are there any ways that you feel like you can help out anyone when they're feeling
I
stressed?
feel better when I help somebody else. Sometimes people are a whole lot worse off than I am. If I do something to help somebody else, it makes me feel better.
I think we can all agree it makes us feel really good to help out others. And maybe if we don't know how to handle our own stress, maybe it just asking someone, what can I do to help you today, might relieve some of that on ourselves. Well, that's the last of my questions. Thank you all for coming and sharing. You're both very open and honest, and I appreciate that. I just want to remind everyone that everything we talked about today does need to stay within our group. But I think everyone did a great job thinking and talking through some of their stressors and what you can do to combat that. Let's plan to journal this week. If anyone has a stressful moment, please write down what it was and what you did after that. And we will discuss that next week. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Remember, there are snacks and drinks. Feel free to take those home today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
See you next week.